To what is, I think this is going to be a final review of like the something new that we've seen before we go back and talk about things that we've already reviewed, but some of us have watched again. And it is I Used to Be Famous.
It
Now
used to be famous, yeah.
this is on Netflix, and I've seen I don't think I've seen the trailer, but oh no, I have seen the trailer for this because this is Ed Skrein playing a person who used to be in a boy band in like the 80s or something, and is now and has soon fallen out. And the funny thing about this is like everything about this film says Bros. If you know the Goss brothers, Matt and Luke Goss, who were in Bros in the 80s, and they had a song called When Will I Be Famous? And there was a documentary that was made a couple of years back that was called After the Screaming Stops. And it was all about the Goss brothers and what they're like now, and how I hope it's not too harsh to say divorced from reality they are. And when I saw Ed Skrein in this film, even his look, the trailer and everything, I was like, this is them making a film. It's kind of based on the Bros brothers or the Goss brothers without actually saying that it is. So sure, tell us about this. What was this film like?
Okay, so this film basically, yeah. So used to be in a boy band. He carries around a keyboard and stuff, and he tries to do a bit of busking, and he visits his pubs and tries to get gigs and things like that. And he just happens to there's like this young lad who's a bit of a drummer, and he has a bit of a jam session in the street with this drummer, and he's a young boy. He's a drummer. He's got a little bit autistic. But they hit off this real relationship, and there's someone happens to record something on their phone, and it sort of might go somewhere. Obviously, the young boy's mother is very, very protective and very defensive, and you can't do this. So
Yeah.
you've got that story there, and it's him because he's trying to be famous again. You sort of get a little flashback, which is the bit we were talking about with the bleached hair and that when he was part of the band. You know what I mean? And there's
That's so Bros. They're not even
Bros.
they're not even trying to hide it.
Yeah, and there's a particular thing that happened, but the manager of the band said, "Oh, you've got to come and play," or he needed some time for something, and they said you either come and play or you're gone, sort of thing. So there's that. So he's got this conflict all the time, and of course, the same thing. So you think, oh yeah, it's going to be a story this about redemption. You know what I mean? But then it comes the time again when you'd say, oh yeah, it's going somewhere. We like what you're doing and all that, but you've got to drop the kid. So then you've got and the mother's really. Anyway, let's just say it is. We were talking about it. It's exactly the same as Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. It's one of these nice, warm, cliched Sunday afternoon films, which you can sit there and enjoy in comfort. And it's got all the normal tropes. There's nothing new here. You sort of get an idea of where this is going. You get an idea where what is happening here. It's really well acted, actually. I quite like Ed Skrein. Or Screen. Yeah. I quite like him as an actor.
Screen, I'm not sure how you actually say
no,
it.
I'm not sure, but I quite like him as an actor anyway. And he convinced me in this is that he was, the bleachy young boy band,
the young pretty boy band member.
So yeah, that it was the acting was pretty solid. The boy's mother maybe not so good, but on the whole, it is what it says on the tin. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. They'd make a good double bill. This would be like if you wanted a bit of like a few perhaps possible and ooh moments and moments, sort of moments.
I'll tell you.
This would make a great double bill with Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
I'll tell you what, Sean. This film has got probably one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. Because sometimes when you say like you feel like they've put the entire film in the trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer for this film is like a 3-minute version of the film. Like you watch the trailer and you're kind of like, so what else is there? So the other week when we spoke about Mr. Malcolm's List, I kind of gave what I expected to happen in the film. And Shaun was like, "You've seen the film." And this time I feel like I could do the same, but that's because the trailer told me everything.
Yeah.
I figured that and the trailer sort of like it goes with that whole heartwarming thing. There's going to be the bit where like as you said, they try and break him apart, and then he's gonna have like crisis of conscience. Whether am I really is it going to be fame I go for, or am I going to go for something that's more more real and be a real human being again, and blah blah blah. And I think I can guess which way he goes in the film. But yeah, and it's one of those ones, as I say, it's not about whether it changes the way cinema goes or anything like that. It's about whether it does what it does well.
Yes.
And Shaun, you don't suffer fools lightly.
No.
So, and from the way you're talking about it, it sounds like it might have done something well.
Yes, yeah, I think it worked. I mean, I won't, there wasn't anything in there that I particularly got me huffy, crossed me legs, and well, Sharon knows about those ones, and heavy breathing and like, So yeah, but I mean,
just Shaun rolling his eyes in the cinema.
It was quite an enjoyable film, and as I say, there wasn't anything like, he didn't suddenly like, this, like you would in a Hollywood one where, megastars, and all the big things. So yeah, I mean, it was quite a realistic, down to earth sort of film. So, but yeah, what a great double bill that would be with Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, because you'd have
just lovely Sunday afternoon British movies.
So someone should come up with a app, shouldn't they, for that, or streaming platform where it's like
lovely British,
lovely movies for a nice sunny afternoon.
I'm gonna create an app called Sunday Afternoon, and that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be. The app's just going to be called Sunday Afternoon, and it's just going to be lovely films that you can watch on a Sunday afternoon that do not take too much of your time. So how many stars would you give I Used to Be Famous?
This will be a 3-star as well. So this will be a 3-star.
Okay, so